Welcome back. Welcome back, beautiful people, to another episode of Inside the Trenches podcast. I'm your host, Marlon, Big Favorite Wright. Joining me right now, we got Joel and the Big Easy. Nola, man, one of the top real estate agents in the area. And we got that boy Fred from Fanview representing, baby.
Y'all already know what it is.
Y'all used to seeing him on Fanview. He's joining us, and Fred will join us every Thursday here as we love to talk sports and entertainment. Mm-hmm. We have a great show for you guys today. We're going to talk a little bit of LSU spring ball. They look good. I went to their Instagram. I saw Kyrie Lacey is looking like that number one receiver, and Nussmeier is definitely throwing those darts that we're used to seeing. So we're going to look at LSU spring. SportsGrid.com did some of the top questions that they had going in the spring. So we'll look at those and comment. We're going to talk class of 2025. Some of the top players in Louisiana. We're going to discuss those guys. And LSU is already off to a good start with one of the top recruiting classes in this class, and it has a lot to do with some local guys. So we'll definitely touch base on that. The Pelicans, Zion Williamson is saying he might do the dunk contest. So we're going to talk a bit about that. That would be a pretty good look. And then last in the deal, we'll laugh a little bit on the NBA fights.
Right. My goodness,
it's crazy. We got to rate them. This is like a rating show today. We rate the players. We top 10, top 5 Zion dunks. But yeah, that's something that's pretty funny, guys. So LSU, they started spring ball, and I love the fact that it's so many burning questions that people have going into this season.
Yes.
So it's something we're going to look forward to. I think the media next week will be able to go out there. But SportsGrid.com, they released this article, and it was written by Sam Jacobs. It's basically stating LSU spring football, 5 burning questions for the Tigers. The very first question, and it's natural, the first question, because you had Jaden Daniels,
who replaces the Heisman Trophy.
Who replaces that? Correct. Who replaces Nussmeier?
It's a big deal.
I mean, can Nussmeier replace Jaden Daniels full time? The article basically states that Nussmeier. It says after Jaden Daniels opts out, Nussmeier replaced the Heisman winner in the Rely Quest Bowl, and we won it 35-31. Jaden Daniels gave him a lot of props. We saw him dapping him up. Fred, I'll come to you first. Nussmeier, you saw him in the Georgia game in the SEC Championship, and he had some play last year. What's your thoughts on Nussmeier taking over the reins?
I think that when he's taking over the reins, I think he's going to get first opportunities. Yeah, it's a similar situation, no different from Miles Brennan taking over from Joe Burrow when he won the Heisman Trophy. He's going off to the pros, and everyone had the question mark: can he finally do it? But Nussmeier's in the same situation. Miles Brennan was here several years, and then took over the job. I think he's been ready. I think he's been preparing for this moment. I think it's his opportunity. It's his situation to lose. But you gotta temper your expectations, because you're coming off a guy in Jaden Daniels who not just won the Heisman Trophy as a passer, but he won it also as a mobile quarterback in this system. We're in 3 years with Brian Kelly, and the offense is going to be catered a little different with Nussmeier at the helm. So if we can handle our expectations, I think he'd be just fine.
And Joel, I want to ask you real quick. Off air, we talked about some of the incoming freshmen. We have Juwan Johnson from Lafayette Christian Academy, broken records in the state. We talk about Colin Hurley, and then everybody seems to forget about this certain guy that was a starting quarterback at Vanderbilt, and A.J. Swan. What do you think about Nuss replacing Jaden Daniels and his challenges?
I mean, just like Fred pointed out, is that this man has been here for a long time, and so he's ready to go. I mean, and he proved it in that bowl game. Like, he showed people that, you can trust me. Get the ball in my hands and everything, and I will lead us to victory. And think about this: is that bringing in A.J. Swan is just something that you want to do, because now that we have lost Jaden Daniels, you want to make sure that your quarterback depth is there. Because anything can happen in Nussmeier, and unfortunately, I hope nothing happens to him, but he could get injured. And so you want to have somebody like A.J. Swan who has that experience as well, because Colin Hurley, I mean, I'm expecting great stuff. That dude, he says he shows Jaden Daniels all over again. All over. It's right there. And I mean, he's got the size, he's got everything there. And so he's going to have these quarterbacks that he can look at to learn from and get ready for.
So it's really 4 quarterbacks we really want to check out for: Nussmeier, AJ Swan, and then, of course, once fall ball comes in, we want to see this elusive player, Jawan Johnson, and Colin Hurley, who reminds us so much of Jaden Daniels. That's going to be cool. We're going to skip around a little bit. We have an opportunity, and we'll talk about this later on in the show when we talk NFL and draft, about where guys like Jaden Daniels, but Malik Neighbors, a guy like Brian Thomas as well, has helped himself at the combine. Who's going to replace these guys? Now, according to Sports Grid, they brought up a guy that we know in Xavier Thomas. He's from right here, Whitmere neighborhood, went to John Eric, Mississippi State, hit the transfer portal. He's a speedster. I saw him live and in living color at John Eric, so we know what's up with him. And then CJ Daniels out of Liberty. Joe, you talked about him transferring over, and then at Liberty, they balled out. They've been playing pretty good.
He had 1,000 yards.
It's crazy.
On 55 receptions.
That's
crazy. But that just shows you something about Jaden Daniels too. I mean, we had the wide receivers there. I mean, obviously we're losing like 2 people, but LSU has recognized that. Kelly has recognized that, and he's making the picks and the trades and the recruiting to make that position more in depth. And I think we'll be fine for these wide receivers because we and I know this is the next question, but we have an offensive lineman that's completely returning. Like, basically all the starters are returning. So
correct.
I think we're going to see a lot from this offense.
One area that LSU struggled in last year, and we're just not used to seeing this. I mean, all my time there, I had 5-star athletes coming in. We had great rotation on the defensive front. Our linebackers, Derek Beckwood, Luke Sanders. We were solid. I'm not even going to talk about LaRon Landry and Chad Jones in the secondary, just to mention a few of the players I played with throughout the time. The most decorated defensive tackle in LSU history, and Glenn Dorsey. This area struggled, and I start with the D-line. I know this article states basically, can the defense improve? I mean, I like Coach Baker, so I do think he does bring in a different element. You bring in some key pieces. Bo Davis, Coach Bo Davis. We talked about Brian Murphy from Texas. You get Corey Raymond back. It's going to be huge for that deal. So, Fred, my question for you, I did list out 3 areas for LSU. Which one is burning like that? Which area you think LSU needs to address on their defense?
D tackle. You lose Mason Smith to the draft. Even though he had an injured play, career at LSU, but he had a lot of, upside and a lot of potential, and a lot of star power. You lose a guy like that going to this. I know they got the kid out of that was originally committed to Texas A&M, but he comes in as a 5-star recruit and best D tackle in the state. And so, but this D line, what we accustomed to seeing at LSU from your time there, Marlon, and just throughout the duration of time, whether it's with Ed Ogeron, whether it's been with Les Miles, whether it's been with Nick Saban, the D-line has been the staple part of the LSU defense.
Yep.
And now there's a void.
Well, but not only is it a void, here's the thing, what people always talk about the void, and the void will get filled. But what always people forget about, and what Kelly talked about, is that we have the players, but we couldn't execute. We didn't have the leadership. So Blake Baker, I mean, look at his stats. I mean, he already had worked for LSU, so he has experience there. But not only look at what he did with all these other defenses that were lacking from the team that he's coming from.
Missouri.
They were 33 when he joined, and now they were in the top 20.
Yep.
And so, and not only that, he made them in the top 20 when it comes to defensive tackles in the backfield and in sacks. So everybody, that is why a coach like Baker is going to make a difference.
And I'll add to what you guys are saying. It's one of the other burning questions. Can the depth along of the defensive line be built? Now, they are bringing in some guys through the transfer portal. You do have a solid Jacoby and Guillory, but, I mean, this is the weakest I've ever seen LSU defense history, in LSU's defense history. Mason Smith, I feel he leaves prematurely.
Yes.
He could have came back, really benefited from
another year.
Another year under Coach Bo Davis, too. So I think you look at it from that perspective. You have 2 offensive linemen in Kimo Maki Old. he transferred over the defensive end from the offensive line and Ahmad Bro. So that's one of the burning questions. Now, lastly here, and this is an area I think has improved since the departure of Coach Denbrock, because now you have Joe Salone and Cartaz Hankton, New Orleans native, taking over. We've basically seen Joe Salone really take a Jaden Daniels that just went from here to here, from level 5 for our listeners to level 10, and improved itself. So it had a lot to do with that. And then in the passing game coordinator, you have 2,000-yard receivers. On top of that, your tight end and Taylor shining along with Kyrie Lacey being a solid guy. Fellas, before we wrap up here on the show, do you feel that this co-coordinating thing is going to work for LSU's offense?
I think it works for the season. I don't think it's a permanent answer. I think at some point in time you need an official offensive coordinator. But this year, because the strength of the team is through the receiving core, and we didn't even mention Aaron Anderson.
That's right.
That he's coming in here and being part of this focal receiver core. I think it's the strength of this team this year. So I think it works for this season. But I think going to maybe next season, they're going to need a permanent OC, and they'll have to make the decision there. But I think this season it works.
Your thoughts, Joe?
Yeah, absolutely agree. Those are great points. And when you're looking at those things, those are just Band-Aid fixes, which is like something that you're going to see, especially when it comes to the Saints. But no, I'm glad that they're doing that. They're at least bringing in something that's going to like help them, because it looks like they're just really focused on their defense right now.
Yes.
Like getting that fixed. That's what Kelly's focused on the most right now.
Hey, y'all, we have so much more to talk about. I am excited to see LSU play their spring game. Their spring game is going to be April 22nd. Free to the public. Hey, it's going to be a great time for our fans to go out and see what the Tigers are about. It's also a good time for you guys to get y'all a bite to eat this evening. Make y'all way on over to Small Sliders, 1635 Barataria Boulevard. I'm ready to say...
in Marrero.
Talk to me now.
It's not as good. It doesn't ring off. Yeah. I'm working on it.
We'll be back. It's Inside the Trenches podcast on ESPN New Orleans. Hello, somebody. It's your boy Marlon, Big Favorite. And when I'm hungry, I like to make my way to Small Sliders, 1635 Barataria Boulevard, Marrero, Louisiana. Simple on purpose. When I tell you their burgers are delicious, have some great sauce on them, I'm telling you, when you're just hungry and just need to grab a quick bite, this is the perfect place for you. Small Sliders. The customer service is nice. It's somewhere you can bring the family, hang out and chill, enjoy the atmosphere. Now I'm a big boy, so when I like to take my Small Sliders, I like to get the biggest smalls. Double patties, bacon, cheese, you name it. Just a delicious burger. And I like to top it off with my favorite, the cookies and cream milkshake. There are 3 delicious flavors: milkshake, chocolate, vanilla, and cookies and cream. Small Sliders. Simple on purpose. Y'all come on and slide through, baby. And let them know that you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with your boy Marlon, Big Favorite. Watch out there now.
It's that boy Fred, host of FanView Podcast. Tune into the NOTN app weekdays, 3:30 for the FanView Podcast. Go to NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com to watch more episodes of FanView Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch.
Are you a student athlete looking to take your career to the next level? Look no further than Conquer Sports Pros. That's right, Conquer Sports Pros. Our team of experts will get you guys on the right path to your student athlete journey in life. That's right, we have every position in football you need, and we also help out with other sports. At Conquer Sports Pros, you have everything from a list of consultation, training, and also media training. Yeah, that's right. When you take your career to the next level, play college and hopefully pro, you'll get lots of interviews. Call Conquer Sports Pros today. You can reach them at 504-319-6672 or visit marlonfavorite.com for more information. Hello, somebody. Are you a student athlete looking to take your career to the next level? Look no further than Conquer Sports Pros. That's right, Conquer Sports Pros. Our team of experts will get you guys on the right path to your student athlete journey in life. That's right, we have every position in football you need, and we also help out with other sports. At Conquer Sports Pros, you have everything from a list of consultation, training, and also media training. Yeah, that's right. When you take your career to the next level, play college and hopefully pro, you'll get lots of interviews. Call Conquer Sports Pros today. You can reach them at 504-319-6672 or visit marlonfavorite.com for more information. Hello, somebody. Are you looking for your dream home? Well, if that's the case, you need to contact Joe Picolo at Godwyn Realty, right here in New Orleans. Joe can put you in your dream home right away. Joe Picolo and the folks over at Godwyn Realty put you in the house that you need. Even if you're looking to invest in some property, they'll do an excellent job with that as well. Contact Joe today at 504-251-8341. Again, that phone number is 504-251-8341. And also contact Joel at joel.godwynrealty.com. No need to dream anymore. Godwyn Realty will put you in the dream house of your reality. Hello, somebody.
Your sons, kicking it with Miyagi. Kensei, sensei, hit 'em with a variety. Raised in them trenches.
It's like I have this argument with my teammates across the NFL all the time, fellas. Like, we argue all the time. It's Inside the Trenches podcast. It's your host, Marlon, Big Favorite. Joining me right now is Joel and Fred, that boy Fred. Y'all make sure y'all check them out on the social media. We'll have all the information down low. And I open that way because this next segment, we're talking about some of the top Louisiana players in the class of 2025. Whew. And it's some names. We're going to roll through a couple of those guys. But the argument is, oh, man, Florida, we got the best athletes. Oh, no, it's Texas. We big Texas. We California. Yeah, y'all bigger. And technically, if you put the size in it, yeah, Texas, y'all in California have most of the states. I mean, Ohio makes a argument for pumping out really good athletes.
Right.
You have
Georgia,
Florida. They've been pumping out some really good athletes. So it's some competing states, but I was on 247sports.com last night as I was putting together this script, and I've been paying attention to a lot of the guys from this class of 2025, Fred and Joe, and we're going to go through a few of them for you guys so you can kind of see what we're saying, but it just speaks volumes about how this state keep on pumping out the best athletes. I mean, second fastest time at the Combine was from Brian Thomas Jr., 4.33. And he ran it smooth, and it seemed like he could have ran it even faster. But, they were talking about his size and why that matters to run fast. But, man, Fred, you've watched a lot of these players, obviously, with you guys as fan view. Y'all bring on high school coaches. I saw Coach Bryce came on.
Yeah.
Just scrolling down this list, who's somebody on here that really sticks out to you?
Terrion Francis in the car.
Yeah, West Bank of Algiers.
Yeah. Listen, the kid has all the physical measures you're looking for. And he's a commit to LSU. Listen, I'd say this kid can 50-50 ball, high-pointed ball. Doesn't matter what kind of route you can run. And we hear from the state of Louisiana. We know about kids that come out of Edna Carr. They're some highly touted kids.
Yeah.
But I think he's one of the best receivers that come out of Edna Carr that's not named Speedy Noel.
Yeah, he's 6'2", Joel, 200 pounds, wide receiver. They have him as a 3-star right now. He's committed. Well, they got the crystal ball predictions. Yes. LSU's a medium chance, and LSU's relationship. Joe, you've looked over this list by 247 Sports as well. You're a native of the area. You played high school football at John Curtis.
Yep.
After scouting a couple of these guys, who's someone who really sticks out to you?
I mean, looking at this, obviously we were talking about earlier that LSU is really needing of defensive tackles. And so the fact that the top recruit, Dominique McKinley, defensive tackle, going to LSU and everything,
24.
Amazing rating and everything. Dude is 6'5", 280 pounds. I think he could definitely put on some more weight on there. And so they're probably going to get him to about like 290, maybe even close to 300 pounds. But that's the kind of person right there. And then also somebody from my alma mater, Michael Turner.
Class of 24, another 24 guy.
6'1", committed to LSU and everything, so 150 pounds. So that's somebody that I'm also going to be watching as well because he came from my school, and I know the coaches and everything right there. Shout out to the Curtises.
Can't go on with Curtis.
Yep. they are going to make sure that these kids are right for college completely.
And I am excited about the class of 2024 too. We mentioned Jawan Johnson during the break. He just mentioned Dominic McKinley. An area we're struggling with, Fred, the D-tackle. And this kid is a youngster, so we don't want to put a lot on him. That's why Springs and Port, we're worried about it. But I think if you look at the class of 2025, you'll see Devin Harper. He's committed to LSU already, interior offensive lineman. Now, here's why that's important. I think next year, in the 2025 draft, you're going to have Frazier fall off the board. Emory Jones decide to go. They already have, I was looking at NFL draftbuzz.com. They already have Will Campbell. One of the top guys coming off the board.
Will Campbell is like...
Him and Emory Jones are going to be top prospects for the 2025 class.
Yeah, they will be. That class of 2025 guys going to the NFL draft, you're going to have a few LSU guys that touch base. I want to get back to a couple of players on this 2025 list. We're looking at LSU's I say LSU. It's so natural to say that.
Yes.
247sports.com, some of the top players in Louisiana that has already committed to LSU going to the class of 2024, but we're just highlighting the class of 2025 right now. And if you look at it, Harlem Berry, St. Martin's Episcopal right there in Metairie. He's a 5-star, ranked 12th in the nation. Out of all the players, number one at his position. Fred, you've watched tons of film on this kid, man. Tell him about Harlem.
You talking about shifty? You talking about a guy who's getting inside the hole and you think you got him. No, you don't. It's a and he's whoop, and he's gone. And it's the acceleration with him. It's when he gets in space, it's the burners. And it's like, listen, that's something I've been missing from the LSU offense, that running back core. We talked about the D-line core. Let's talk about the running back core that we've been used to seeing out of the LSU backfield. And it seems like there's been, I don't want to say the word void, but it's something been missing. But when Barry joins the backfield at LSU, him and Caleb Jackson could probably still be there. Listen, when he gets on campus, he's going to be something special to watch. Watch out for Harlem Berry. Because this kid, when he gets into space, if you think you got him, he's going to make a shifty move. But when he makes the move, it's the acceleration you really got to start to pay attention to. He has the burners.
Yeah, he has the speed.
He has it.
And he talk about how LSU, this kid is already committed to him, Joe. He talks about how LSU really needs that type of player. He reminds me a lot of Darren Sproles. The way he's obviously a lot taller. He's 5'11", but the way he uses the low center of gravity when he dips to make his move. Scholar did that a lot too. Scholar Green, he boom, and then cut the move, and then the speed piece, the acceleration with those guys.
Well, that's what people were saying about Sproles. Like you would look at him and say, like, "There's no way he's going to be able to get to that point."
Right.
I don't know what's going on with the system. Technical difficulties. Oh, there it goes. Oh, it just loves you. Like, apparently it just loves you. Like, I was clicking for like 30 minutes right now. Like, play it back. And then, like, Mom's like, I got you, baby. Like, but
it's the touch.
The touch. No, I'm definitely excited about him. Like, when I was watching his recruitment videos, and you're absolutely right, Fred. Just the burst of speed is crazy. Like, you just see the line is about to get him. You see him about to make the tackle, and whoop, he's just gone.
Good luck.
Another player that I had a chance to watch a little film on. We've been hearing about this school over the last couple of years a lot lately. Westgate. Jabari Antoine, cornerback. He's committed to LSU. He's a 4-star, 6'1", 170. And his tape, when you start thinking DBs, you automatically go in this time frame. Oh, he's going to get tons of interceptions. No, this kid, he's going to create the turnovers, but sometimes he's causing it by fumbles. He doesn't mind coming up off of the side, up the sideline to place a big hit. Open field tackles, he does exceptionally well. But coverage, one thing I'll talk about a Louisiana native I thought was a really good cornerback when he played, Keenan Lewis. Keenan didn't have a lot of interceptions, but he covered well. Right. A lot of PUBs, pass breakups, and I think once you look at it from that perspective, a guy like Jabari Antoine Fred will fit in nice with these rotational corners.
Listen, when he steps in on campus, he's going to be a nightmare in that room. Obviously, if you look at this class, this particular 2024 class, with Bernard Causey, then you got Wallace Foster, who comes in out of Warren Eastern.
Warren Eastern, yeah.
And Bernard comes in out from Kennedy.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to add, Jacoby to that room. It's going to be a nightmare. Now that Corey Raymond has returned, this DB room is going to be a nightmare for years to come again. When you see some of the top prospects in the country coming out of LSU, trust me, they're going to be infectious when time comes.
Straight up, I know, man.
We're going to get back to what they call DBU again, when all these high-rated DBs come into LSU, coming in on the field, making plays. Listen, I'm excited.
It's a good recruiting piece. Let's be real. It's a good having Coach Raymond back there. It's a good recruiting piece because you can say Dante Jackson. You can mention the likes of Tyrann Mathieu and Patrick Peterson, Chevis Jackson, Chad Jones. I mean, I can name
Morris Claiborne. The list goes on.
The list goes on. Jamal Adams. Where do we stop? The list goes
Eric
on.
Reed.
The list it's endless. That's how big that recruiting piece is. Joe, you played linebacker in high school, as I mentioned earlier, at John Curtis, and a player that's already committed to LSU, and Keelan Moses. This is Dylan Moses' brother. Both of them played at U-High. I know Dylan had left and went to IMG. Eventually had a spectacular career at Alabama and went pro. His little brother committed. How huge is this for LSU?
I mean, he definitely. So looking at his numbers and everything, he definitely has potential. Obviously, we have some room to be working on him because he's 6'2", 210. I mean, that's just you need to be, if you're going to be a linebacker, you need to be at least, like, especially in the college level, at least like 220 to 230. Because some of these like running backs that you're going to be dealing with, the offensive linemen, the tight end who are going to crack down on you constantly, you got to be able to bully them around and be that presence. So, like, a linebacker is an extra defensive tackle that can be able to plug a hole. And he has the height, but just the weight and everything, he needs to get that up a little bit more. But I can't wait to see what this kid is going to be doing in the future.
Well, as we get closer to that class, I'm pretty sure we're going to talk about these guys much more on the show. Hey, guys, we're off to a great start. That's high school football right there, Louisiana. I think we're footballing y'all. We're going to come back to football a little later, but now it's time to enjoy our hoop dreams. Zion Williamson. He said he got to get to the All-Star game first.
Mm-hmm.
He said he get there, but he might want to get into the dunks. I'm going to talk to my co-host about that on our next segment. Y'all are watching Inside the Trenches podcast, live here at New Orleans Talk Network. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back. Hello, somebody.
We never give up, girl, you know we gon' survive. There's nobody like you, 'cause it ain't enough.
It's that boy Fred, host of FanView Podcast. Tune into the NOTN app weekdays, 3:30 for the FanView Podcast. Go to NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com to watch more episodes of FanView Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch.
Are you looking for your dream home? Well, if that's the case, you need to contact Joe Picolo at Godwyn Realty, right here in New Orleans. Joe can put you in your dream home right away. Joe Picolo and the folks over at Godwyn Realty put you in the house that you need. Even if you're looking to invest in some property, they'll do an excellent job with that as well. Contact Joe today at 504-251-8341. Again, that phone number is 504-251-8341. And also contact Joel at joel.godwynrealty.com. No need to dream anymore. Godwyn Realty will put you in the dream house of your reality. Hello, somebody. Are you a student athlete looking to take your career to the next level? Look no further than Conquer Sports Pros. That's right, Conquer Sports Pros. Our team of experts will get you guys on the right path to your student athlete journey in life. That's right, we have every position in football you need, and we also help out with other sports. At Conquer Sports Pros, you have everything from a list of consultation, training, and also media training. Yeah, that's right. When you take your career to the next level, play college and hopefully pro, you'll get lots of interviews. Call Conquer Sports Pros today. You can reach them at 504-319-6672 or visit marlonfavorite.com for more information. Hello, somebody. Welcome back to Inside the Trenches podcast. It's your host, Marlon, Big Favorite. I got that boy Fred joining me from FanView. Y'all make sure y'all check out FanView podcast every week. You can check it out right here on the New Orleans Talk Network. Fred and them have great guests, local guests, national. Yes. It's just a really good show. So, Fred, how was y'all show this week, man?
Oh, man, listen, last week, I'm
sorry.
We had an episode with Bryce Brown, head coach right in the car.
Yeah, Bryce came through here. I did see that on
Bryce came through here, man, and it was drops a lot of gems, man. I mean, listen, the FanView podcast is growing. It's expanding each and every week, man. We getting some of the excited coaches, players, former players to join the podcast, man. We're reaching out to people each and every day. That people now reaching out to us about come sitting down here, telling their story, talking about their journey, and talking about their relationships with people in the world of sports. It's been a fantastic journey. We can't stop. We won't stop. Subscribe to FanView Podcast.
Man, and having Conquer Sports Pros, man, what I really appreciate when you have guys like Brock Hayes come on.
Yes, my guy.
Dave Johnson.
Dave, my guy.
Dave's supposed to join us this Monday at UPT Sports Social. So
my guy.
That's a good deal. So y'all make sure y'all
we
also
on fries,
follow.
David. We on fries.
Yes, he on fries.
We on fries. Coach Dave, my guy.
Yes, y'all make sure that y'all follow them on Instagram as well at FanView Live. So, guys, Zion Williamson, after their big win, just a massive win out in Toronto, he was interviewed and asked about will he enter the dunk contest next year. And his comment was, yeah, if I get invited as an all-star. Zion hadn't been an all-star since, I want to say, 2021. He's been dealing with a lot of injuries, so his play really wasn't able to be up to typical Zion Williamson's play. Right. So that's kind of been his deal, guys. My question for you all, and we'll check out some of Zion's dunks so our viewers can check it out and see him dunk, because people forgot he was the dunk master at Duke.
Dude is amazing.
Yes, a supreme athlete.
Yes, indeed. My question to you guys is, especially as us being New Orleanians with Pelicans fans by nature, do you want to see big Zion in the dunk contest?
I think when our producer said off there, if you want to end the dunk contest, put Zion Williamson in and watch him get injured.
Oh, my gosh.
If you want to end it completely, put him in dunk contest. And if he's injured, the slam dunk contest would never be again. They would never stop talking about it. But
I don't know.
What's your thoughts, Joel?
That is a solid point, because you know that the what's their name? The NBA, the Bensons. They would be very upset about that.
They'd be upset.
Oh, very upset. They would be up and holler and be like, we need to end this, blah, blah, blah. You'll have people on Twitter, oh, we need to end this. But look at how long the dunk contest has been around. I mean, it's a form of entertainment. I mean, I grew up watching the dunk contest, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. But the question that we should be really asking is, why is Zion putting the stipulation about being in the All-Star game? Like that, if I get this, I'll go into the dunk contest. Why is that?
I think the biggest reason, that's a really great question. I think the biggest reason is he's out there at the dunk contest participating in it, but he's not one of the all-stars. So if you think back when Michael Jordan, Vince Carter, and all these guys were in the dunk contest, they were also all-star players. So I think he's looking at it not necessarily just from the historical point of the guys that enter, because, this year's winner came out of the G League. The last 2 years, actually, Mac McClung. He's won the dunk contest 2 years in a row, and he plays for the Delaware Colts. He's also assigned, as Fred mentioned, off air to
By the way,
76ers.
disproving the movie White People Can't Jump. Just saying.
Yeah, right.
It's been debunked.
It's definitely
been debunked.
2 years in a row.
Wait. Watch number 3. White people maybe can jump.
Maybe.
Yeah, that'd be a new. Well, they just had.
That's the next movie. White people maybe can jump.
What's my man name? Jack Hollow. He was in the new White Man Can't Jump. Yeah. He did a pretty good job too. I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah, but definitely the game has evolved. Evolution is real.
But I do think it will be exciting for him to be in there, because what happens at this dunk contest is that ending mark of that entertainment for that night.
Yeah.
And so they need a star in that game. And I think Zion Williamson is a star that can bring a lot of people's attention, hype. Because Zion Williamson is just a freak athlete. So I think if you have him, I mean, you're talking about a guy like when Blake Griffin won it, right?
Yeah.
When he dunks over the Kia Optima, right? That level of excitement that the dunk contest needs, I think a Zion Williamson can do that. He can bring that energy and that excitement to the dunk contest. Because prior to the two-time winner, and Matt McClung, we had an Obi Toppin, we had a Glenn Robertson. The last time people had that flair of the dunk contest was when we saw Zach LaVine and,
that was good. That was
Aaron
good.
Gordon. Yeah. That was the last time we was like, hey.
And I think the NBA is in favor of letting more fans or getting more fans hype about the dunk contest, because at its origin, it was Muggsy Bowles. I'm thinking with Dominique Wilkerson, Jordan flying from free point.
Look what y'all are explaining right there is that I remember somebody's talking about one of the talk show hosts is like, we need to make the dunk contest where it's just a bunch of young kids. Like, it's just like these rookie people who are just coming in. And I was like, why would I even watch that? Like, I'm not trying to say that they're not good, but the dunk contest, just like you explained, some of the most reputable people like dunking on it. That's what you come to watch, is like the best of the best who are just doing these crazy moves and dunking. That's what you want to watch.
Well, guys, let's take a look at a few of Zion's dunks. So if it does happen, it does give the Pelicans a lot more. I mean, I will be a little nervous because he is your investment. Yes. But it will give them a little more hype around it, to you guys' point. Yeah. Your star players participate in it. So we're going to check out a couple of his dunks here in a second, but I mean, he was dunking.
Playing good basketball, blowout last night, and watch this.
Give me that.
I feel bad for the Rams. It prompted a post-game question to Zion on if he would ever consider doing the NBA dunk contest in the future. Here's what he said.
I got to do my part and make the All-Star game. If I'm in the All-Star game, I'll do the dunk contest. If I'm not,
I want to do it, but I want to be invited.
He wants to be an All-Star. He wants to be an All-Star.
And if you look at it from that perspective, his time at Duke, just a couple of the highlights. I mean, ESPN did a good job at showing his top 5. There's one. Right here.
I think this is his best dunk.
Boom!
Yes. That's the one against Phoenix. That's the one against Phoenix. Yes.
Willie Green,
yes.
He's like,
yes. That's my
Willie Green was like,
dunk.
did you see that?
Yes.
It's the energy of the dunk, right? I mean, guys, we're making a good point. Here's number 4. We're making a good point about bringing this back with the superstars. Boom!
Yes. That is what you come to watch, man.
Come to watch.
Look at that, man.
Come to watch.
Not these rookie people who are like, that's great. But you're talking about the people who
you
like
watch stars.
Yes, the stars, the people who are on the side of the buildings. Like, people know. Like, you talk to anybody in New Orleans and you say, "Do you know who Zion Williams?" They'll be like, "Yep." Who that?
It is good for the market. Zion is lighter now, so it's not like he's knocking on 300 pounds.
Correct.
And we're used to seeing him go airborne in college. Like at Duke, he did his thing with that. Yeah. And it brings the excitement back to the All-Star weekend. Now, I do see the risk. All-Star weekend, once it's over, that's when the basketball season really starts to heat up.
Correct.
You start to put your eggs together in terms of who are your starters? How your bench is coming off of, how's your bench looking, your players. It's just a really important time.
But the reason why I think that I'm okay with it, and just hear me out here, the game itself is not risky no more. The actual game. The game is now scoring 300-plus points in it, right?
Yeah.
There's very little to no defense in the game itself.
I know.
So for him to perform at the slam. At one time, I can understand it because the game itself was intense.
Yeah.
So you were kind of like you're preparing for a slam dunk contest and you're now preparing for a game. The game itself is not that intensified of a game to where I'm not that afraid of my guy playing a slam dunk contest. If he's still playing the game, it's not much defense going on. It's not that much of an intense.
Yeah, they're not trying to injure each other.
They're not trying to injure each other.
Yeah.
So for him to participate in the slam dunk, I think it's a phenomenal idea because the game itself is just, they're not trying to injure each other about it. They're out here to try things they've probably been trying in practice that just couldn't try in the game. And so I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it too. I do think that the fans are owed that. You know, the fans are, and when we were kids, we were fortunate enough to see, like we mentioned, Michael Jordan, Dominique Wilkinson, you know, all the big name guys.
Tracy McGrady did it.
Tracy, T-Mac. The Vince Carter one was my favorite.
Oh, Vince Carter.
That's the one Tracy McGrady was in. The Vince Carter one. Him and Steve Francis was in that slam dunk contest.
That's a historical dunk contest because it was Steve Francis, T-Mac, and it was, man. See, and these are starters, Joel. These are guys
starters. Like guys who that if they go down, there goes tens of millions of dollars. Like gone.
I mean, Jason Richardson was in, and I'm like, dude, who's gonna outdunk this guy? And it's like, I mean, so I think that it does need it needs star power, and so no discredit to rookies, maybe second and third players, but they're not a star or they didn't get drafted to be a star.
Yeah,
like right now, I wouldn't want to see the fifth. Let's say if you were picked outside of the lottery,
right, exactly.
in the slam dunk, unless you came in and you was like a Gerald Green, right, who you knew he could just jump, right. If you're not that kind of prospect or NBA player, I don't really want to watch it. So I think we're going to acquire a star, and I don't think if Zion, if his condition is he needs to be an all-star to participate, then the NBA we got some work to do to make sure that he.
I made this last quick point. Think about the Olympics. The Olympic basketball team did not become a thing until the Dream Team came into place.
That's it.
Where, who were they? All of the best players.
That's right.
That's what people come to watch.
Y'all remember they used to give those gift cards, those basketball cards out at the gas station? I think they might have been like $3 or $4. They had the Dream Team gas cards at the gas station.
Oh.
The good old days.
Yep.
Well, the Pelicans, they play this Friday, March 8th at 6 p.m. They're going to take on the 76ers. It's going to be huge. It's going to be in Philly. I know you mentioned Joel Embiid. We don't know if he's going to be back or not, but or in full swing. So Pels are 37-25, and they play this Friday at 6 p.m. Don't go anywhere. It's Inside the Trenches podcast. And this Monday, I want y'all to remember we're going to be at the Sports Social, Uptown Sports Social, 35. I'm sorry, so many addresses to remember. 3218 Magazine Street in the heart of New Orleans. We're going to be there from 6 to 8 live at Uptown Sports Social, baby. So we'll be back Inside the Trenches podcast. We're going to wrap up hour one. We're going to stick with the NBA. All these fights going on, people punching and doing all kind of crazy stuff. It's Inside the Trenches podcast. We'll be back.
And don't you forget it. Don't you forget my love.
Hello, somebody. It's your boy Marlon, Big Favorite. And when I'm hungry, I like to make my way to Small Sliders, 1635 Barataria Boulevard, Marrero, Louisiana. Simple on purpose. When I tell you their burgers are delicious, has some great sauce on them, I'm telling you, when you're just hungry and just need to grab a quick bite, this is the perfect place for you. Small Sliders. The customer service is nice. It's somewhere you can bring the family, hang out and chill, enjoy the atmosphere. Now I'm a big boy, so when I like to take my Small Sliders, I like to get the biggest smalls. Double patties, bacon, cheese, you name it. Just a delicious burger. And I like to top it off with my favorite, the cookies and cream milkshake. There are 3 delicious flavors: milkshake, chocolate, vanilla, and cookies and cream. Small Sliders. Simple on purpose. Y'all come on and slide through, baby. And let them know that you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with your boy Marlon, Big Favorite. Watch out there now.
Step Construction is here for you with a brand new offer. We now provide affordable storage sheds. Stop wasting your money on overpriced storage units and portable containers. Step Construction can provide you with a custom shed that will fit your budget and storage needs. So contact Step Construction today at 504-340-5809 for your own personal quote. Let us help you take the next step at Step Construction.
Hello, somebody. It's Marlon Big Fave Wright with Inside the Trenches podcast. Do you need a quick car wash? Well, if that's a yes, you need to visit Crown Car Wash, 1336 Stumpf Boulevard, Gretna, Louisiana, on the West Bank, baby. Crown's the best. You get a spotless wash, nice clean tires, reasonable pricing, and free vacuuming. My favorite part about Crown Car Wash, they open 24/7. That's right, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can visit Crown Car Wash on the West Bank, baby, and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast with Marlon Big Fave Wright. Watch out there now.
Listen up. Your customers, our listeners, could be hearing about your business right now. Yeah, right now. Don't miss out on the opportunity to advertise with NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. Call our business department today at 504-475-4793 to hear about our great rates. NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com. We provide the people, you provide the business.
Well, hello, it's Marlon Big Fave Wright with Inside the Trenches podcast. Are you looking for a brand new car? Or you're tired of what you're driving around in? Or you just need wheels? Well, if that's the case, you need to visit Montero Motors, 1512 North Causeway, Metairie, Louisiana. At Montero Motors, our buddy Alberto will get you in a vehicle that fits you that day with no problem. They have vehicles that are pre-owned. You could do a trade-in that day and ride off in something that day. Visit MonteroMotors.com for more information and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast. Hello.
I don't do no high, girl. I run it, you can find me. I don't duck tsunami.
It's Inside the Trenches podcast. Y'all enjoying this show with us. I know y'all having a great time. It's your host, Marlon Big Fave Wright. Got my man Joe with me, that boy Fred, and we rolling, baby. This is the last segment of the hour. And just being a journalist, it's on us to surf the internet and look for different things. And it was a certain fight that went down in the Bulls versus Jazz game. Now, from what I understand, the Bulls did win 19-17. I'm sorry. Yeah, I did have that right. They did win. It was and it was started the big fight. And it was a Bulls assistant coach and John Collins. It got heated, the ref in the middle, all kind of technical fouls thrown out. And to be quite honest with you, we've seen this a number of times in the NBA. As a matter of fact, Joe, sometimes I get football and the NBA mixed up because these dudes throwing bowls. I mean, Draymond looked like he need to go ahead and play defense or something.
Draymond always dropping balls.
Yeah, he need to come play defense or something. So,
dude,
defensive end.
And everybody knows about Draymond, like that he's like not afraid to be throwing them bows or like kneeing people, all of that stuff.
So, Clutch Points dropped the biggest fights in NBA history. So y'all could go to clutchpoints.com to check this out. And it's, of course, over the years, we'll go through a few of them. I actually forgot about this one, but LeBron James and Isaiah Stewart. LeBron a big dude. He's not just like big.
No,
like,
but Isaiah Stewart was not afraid.
I'm not afraid.
That's like them three guys that are trying to fight Cam Newton. Like, you're like, what are you doing? Like, you are not going to win.
That was funny, bro. Did y'all see, like, a lot of the clips, like the memes from that? I forget who did. Somebody they drew a picture.
Yeah. Okay, no lie. Cam Newton looked like a Gothic pilgrim. Like, he really did. He looked like a Gothic penguin.
Now, back in 1998, Michael Jordan and Reggie Miller, they were two of the best shooters at their time. Yeah. While the two stars engaged in an epic playoff battle in 1998, Jordan and Miller got involved in a physical scuffle.
Right.
So Michael Jordan and Reggie Miller's fight is number 9 on this list. Now, this person's name is going to get mentioned a couple of times. As a matter of fact, we did already. At number 8 is Draymond Green, him and Jordan Poole. Now, TMZ leaked the video. They were the first ones to leak the video of that fight. But this is the only one on here, Fred, that doesn't involve like the other team.
Right, that's him and his teammates.
Same team.
It's insane. Now at 7, who's at 7? Draymond Green once again. Him and Rudy Gobert. They had their fight. It's a funny picture that Clutch Pro has up. It's like they're getting ready for a boxing match. They look like they put UFC bodies and attach it onto theirs.
Why does it look like Terry Cruz's body to the right?
That looks like Terry Crews.
That looks like Terry
Friday
Crews,
after
bro.
next.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's a good one, Joe. They just took like some US digitally
Terry
imposed
Crews
it
about
on
to sue somebody.
Terry Crews gonna be on somebody's neck.
Now check this out, y'all. This is funny. Shaquille O'Neal and this is two then. Shaquille O'Neal and Charles Barkley. These guys getting it now. They already retired. The two are working so well together in NBA today. However, back then it was a different story. After Shaq filed Barkley in the lateral parts of his career, they both had got into a big fight on the hardwood and was suspended and all of that stuff. But they worked pretty well on a radio station. But they make the cracks at each other. Like one time, who that was fell? That was Shaq fell.
Shaq fell. Shaq fell. You're bad.com.
Charles Barkley, he was the Draymond Green of his time. He also had a fight
I was about to say that. Like, Charles Barkley and Draymond Green, like
they would have got along good. I'll tell you, I'll knock him out now. Now this one here was thrown back right here. Larry Bird and Julius Erving at 4, the 1984 fight that they had when the 76ers took on the Boston Celtics back in 1984. That was a big time fight. Now this looks like this was either taken out of a UFC.
Oh, this is definitely, like
UFC
wrestling.
or definitely WWE.
That's like wrestling.
That's WWE.
That's wrestling.
Dr. J.
Well, I mean, when you look at the
one, definitely Ric Flair.
About the documentary with Ric Flair.
One is definitely the one on the right. Julius Erving is definitely Ric Flair.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny because I actually thought about this Halloween dressing up like Ric Flair. It's so funny that we brought that up.
The Nature Boy.
But Larry Bird, man, that doesn't surprise me seeing him on this list. Man, he has that reputation of being like he talks trash all the time to people.
Yes.
All the time.
White man can't jump. White man can't fight.
And if y'all remember,
we'll take it.
When LeBron James had clipped his milestone of over 40,000 points, the Jordan and the LeBron James conversation came up. Matter of fact, we had a segment on it. You think back during the Dr. J time when Larry Bird played and Isaiah Thomas, Michael Jordan struggled with those dudes. So I mean, they were physical. As I say, I think that's what made Jordan what he was in the early '90s. He played against such physical guys in the '80s, no doubt.
Well, remember you had the Bad Boys.
Yep, you had the Pistons.
The Pistons. That's right.
Oh,
so at number 3, the Chicago Bulls and the Knicks brawl. With the championships up for grab, the playoffs brought out the competitive nature of the NBA players. Furthermore, it also brought out a more physicality, which also triggered tension and tempers. This sees to a third game in the 1994 Eastern Final Semis. I remember being a kid with this one. I mean, you had Derek Harper, JoJo English. Derek Harper and JoJo English tackle one another, punching, throwing fights, and that was one of the big-time fights as well.
Mm-hmm.
Throwback. Number 2, the Denver Nuggets and the New York Knicks. Now, this was after Nate Robinson and so this is more of a recent one because this is Nate Robinson, J.R. Smith, Carmelo Anthony. They took some swings. Now, both teams were fined $500K.
Wow.
So this was, it was later on for sure.
That's the most expensive punch I've ever seen.
That it was. Now, this is historical. We've seen this on the Ron Artest documentary, The Malice at the Palace.
Malice in the Palace.
This was my senior year in high school. And this was one for the books. The Malice in the Palace in 2004. This had escalated a brawl. This brawl had escalated to its gravity ever seen. It was the biggest ever. The brawl also had other sport history attached to it. Now, what happened was, with this massive brawl, the game was eventually canceled at about 45 seconds remaining in the game.
Yeah.
Wow.
Although the Pacers won the game 97-82, the victory was hampered by the massive brawl, which resulted into hefty fines, suspensions, Ron Artest being suspended for the rest of the season, and then Steven Jackson and Jermaine O'Neal receives 35 to 25 game suspension. This was one. I see why it was number one, because it just echoed throughout the entire palace.
I mean, yeah. Like when you get that big of a brawl and you have to literally shut down a game in the middle of it. I mean, yeah, it was 45 seconds, so that's probably why they made that call. But I mean, that is insane. And you don't want players to get injured too. Correct. That's a huge thing that could happen. I mean, like, remember, y'all, this is like somebody's fist coming at you, and if they make the right connection, if they make it in the side of your head or anything, that could potentially kill somebody.
Correct. If it hits you right in the temple.
In the temple, you're done.
Right, and that's why they find and they then tore that stadium down. I mean, that arena. Yeah,
that arena's been torn down since then.
It's like a ground zero landmark.
The brawl finished it.
I remember that because I actually remember watching that game live. That's crazy. And so that game there, I think Ron Artest was backing up for Ben Wallace. He was trying to retreat from Ben Wallace. He ended up laying down on the sports announcer's table.
Wow.
And a fan threw a cup. I don't know if it was a beer cup, but threw a cup. And when it hit Ron Artest, it just ignited. And he just went into the crowd. And Steven Jackson don't make it no better.
See, and you know what's even what's even crazier is that this was a time when like the internet wasn't really as big as it was today.
There was no YouTube yet.
If you didn't VHS it, you like, what happened?
And I know a lot of news folks were able to get it. And I know at the time people couldn't pull out their cell phones and record.
All you had was Sports Center.
That's it.
And stories. And stories. Like,
That's
I
it.
was there that night.
You going back to high school and you're like, bro, did you see that?
You didn't see this? It was just wild. And it was a crazy event, Malice in the Palace. I mean, Ron Artest goes inside the crowd. Steven Jackson comes. And when you see Steven Jackson come, you're like, okay, this is about to go left.
Yep. It's about to get bad.
This happened. If y'all are just tuning in, it's Inside the Trenches podcast. We're talking about the Malice in the Palace. This few days ago, John Collins got into it with one of the Bulls' assistants, and I mean the aggressive nature is there in basketball, like football. It's just that basketball, these guys don't have on no pads, so it ain't.
No,
I can scramble with my helmet on, but
dude, and their arm length is crazy.
Like that's another thing.
Their reach,
it's like a boxer. And so not just the Bulls, but just recently with the Pels. We talk about them in the Miami Heat. Mm-hmm. With Jose Alvarado gets suspended. The Heat, Thomas Bryant gets suspended for a couple of games. Where Najee Marshall puts his hand on Jimmy Butler around his neck. They have an altercation.
Yeah, they got like two people in front of him, and he's still grabbing.
He's still grabbing. We're like, what is going on in the NBA? Like the tensions are high.
It is, and I'm gonna tell y'all one thing too, y'all. As we wrapping up this segment, today was a beautiful day. And if your car is dirty or like my truck dirty, y'all need to make y'all way to Crown Car Wash, 1336 Stumpf Boulevard in Gretna, Louisiana. They're open 24/7. I know when we finish recording the pod, I'm going to definitely have to make my way over there. And I won't fight getting there either. I'm going to make sure I go at a time where it's not super busy. But that's Crown Car Wash, 1336 Gretna Boulevard. Stumpf Boulevard in Gretna, Louisiana. Y'all, we talked a little bit of basketball. We had a great time talking about these fights. It's funny. We do have some more funny stuff for y'all later on in this show. It's Inside the Trenches podcast. We're about to come up on hour 2. Again, if you hadn't subscribed to New Orleans Talk Network, please make sure you subscribe. We have the information below the show. Also, subscribe to Inside the Trenches podcast on YouTube. We have our shorts up there, constantly putting good content up. Y'all make sure y'all follow Joel at Joel and the Big Easy. Y'all follow that boy Fred over there at FanView. And hey, y'all, hour 2, we're gonna bring back a little football.
There we are.
You know, the Saints trying to figure out their thing in the draft, but they have a top cornerback when healthy in Marshawn Lattimore. So we're gonna talk about Marshawn. Yes. You're watching Inside the Trenches podcast, baby. We'll be back. Hello, somebody. It's your boy Marlon, Big Favorite. And when I'm hungry, I like to make my way to Small Sliders, 1635 Barataria Boulevard, Marrero, Louisiana. Simple on purpose. When I tell you their burgers are delicious, has some great sauce on them. I'm telling you, when you're just hungry and just need to grab a quick bite, this is the perfect place for you. Small sliders. The customer service is nice. It's somewhere you can bring the family, hang out and chill, enjoy the atmosphere. Now I'm a big boy, so when I like to take my small sliders, I like to get the biggest smalls. Double patties, bacon, cheese, you name it. Just a delicious burger. And I like to top it off with my favorite, the cookies and cream milkshake. There are 3 delicious flavors: milkshake, chocolate, vanilla, and cookies and cream. Small sliders. Simple on purpose. Y'all come on and slide through, baby. And let them know that you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with your boy Marlon Big Fave Favorite. Watch out there now. Well, hello, it's Marlon Big Fave Favorite with Inside the Trenches podcast. Are you looking for a brand new car? Or you're tired of what you're driving around in? Or you just need wheels? Well, if that's the case, you need to visit Montero Motors, 1512 North Causeway, Metairie, Louisiana. At Montero Motors, our buddy Alberto will get you in a vehicle that fits you that day with no problem. They have vehicles that are pre-owned. You could do a trade-in that day and ride off in something that day. Visit MonteroMotors.com for more information and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast. Hello. Are you looking for your dream home? Well, if that's the case, you need to contact Joe Picolo at Godwyn Realty, right here in New Orleans. Joe can put you in your dream home right away. Joe Picolo and the folks over at Godwyn Realty put you in the house that you need. Even if you're looking to invest in some property, they'll do an excellent job with that as well. Contact Joe today at 504-251-8341. Again, that phone number is 504-251-8341. And also contact Joel at joel.godwynrealty.com. No need to dream anymore. Godwyn Realty will put you in the dream house of your reality. Hello, somebody.
It's that boy Fred, host of FanView Podcast. Tune into the NOTN app weekdays, 3:30 for the FanView Podcast. Go to NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com to watch more episodes of FanView Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch.
Step Construction is here for you with a brand new offer. We now provide affordable storage sheds. Stop wasting your money on overpriced storage units and portable containers. Step Construction can provide you with a custom shed that will fit your budget and storage needs. So contact Step Construction today at 504-340-5809 for your own personal quote. Let us help you take the next step at Step Construction.
Just say it every day. We gotta show up in every single way.
What time flies when we having fun, baby? It's hour 2 here at Inside the Trenches podcast. It's your host, Marlon Big Fave Favorite. Joining me right now, I have Joel and the Big Easy and that boy Fred from FanView. And it's time to get back to my favorite sport in the world. I mean, I played a little bit of football in college and in the NFL. Why not? It'd be football.
Right.
And, of course, we'll talk about this the next segment, but Buffalo made a lot of changes.
Yes.
We saw some franchise tags going out. I know Michael Pittman, and they ended up franchise tagging him over at the Colts.
I'm scratching my head, but continue.
I honestly thought, and I know we're going to dig into the NFL. We're going to talk franchise tags and release in segment 6. But the conversation comes up about Marshawn Lattimore.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And what should the Saints decide to do with him? I know in the last 2 years, he has dealt with some injuries.
Yep.
Luckily, in that department, I thought the Saints did a good job drafting guys like Alontae Taylor, who was able to come in, and Parsons Adebo to be another solid back. I do think somewhere in this draft or in free agency, the Saints will be in the market for a slot cornerback.
Yeah.
But off air, I was talking with you two guys about this situation with Marshawn and the Saints' will to do or don't.
Right.
If you keep him, he's your guy. You pay him his guaranteed money. But if you do decide to utilize the June, now this is the important part. Here's the trade post June 1st. Fred, break that down for our viewers. If the Saints do decide to make that move.
If the Saints would decide to trade Marshawn Lattimore after the draft, which is post June 1st, I like to tell people out there there's 2 types of free agency. There's free agency when it originally starts, then there's free agency again after June 1st.
And why is that?
Well, obviously you get the time to adjust your roster before the draft. You get to adjust it.
Well, I'll tell you. So the reason why June 1st is such a big deal, because that's when the NFL's books restarts.
Correct.
That's why June 1st is such a big deal. Because they can redo everything after June 1st.
And so when you have that kind of setup, you get those cap situations.
Yep.
So if you trade a Marshon Lattimore and designate as a post June 1st, they get to save some money. They get to save $3.9 million against their cap. And right now, as we talk about free agency, things that go against the cap are critically important.
Yeah.
Because obviously the Saints are right a little bit above $17 million over the cap. You can't operate. They still got to have money to sign rookie free agents. So they got to have a pool of money for, draftees. They got to have some pool of money for potential, new free agents. So they have to find a way to operate and function. So they got to take a look at everything to see opportunities where they can save cap money. And the way to do that is trade players or release players and bringing potentially new guys. And so Marshon Lattimore has been a topic of conversation.
Yeah. So even though that Marshon Lattimore is definitely in talks of like being possibly traded, and like you said, it's like 3.9. But let's look at this, y'all, because let's be honest. Every time Marshon Lattimore is healthy, he makes a difference when it comes down to it.
Huge
so
difference.
Here's something that we have to think about. So right now we're a little over 17 million over the cap. But let's just do this. Let's talk about restructuring, because that's another thing that we can do. So Ryan Ramczyk, if we restructured his contract, we would save $11.8 million on the cap. If we restructured Kamara, $8 million. If we restructured Demario Davis, $8 million. There you go, everybody. Boom. Restructure 3 people.
In the green.
Done. You're in the green, baby. We're saving money.
And in a situation where if they do decide to restructure Marshon's contract, they won't have to pay him any money in 2024, but they will owe him $12 million the next year. Because the restructure would be $12 million in the next year, $11 million in 2026, and then in 2027 it'll be 672. Again, then that's if they do decide to do it. But you start looking at trade value, right?
Correct.
You start looking at, okay, you right now top free agents you have Jalen Ramsey. We just saw that
a Snead got franchise tag.
He got franchise tag. Tre'Davious White was released from Tampa. From the Bills. So you do have a situation where's that trade value going to get? If you do decide to trade somebody gets Marshon, what do you get? It's more than likely going to be maybe like a 5th or 6th round pick, and that's just not good enough.
You could probably get more than that, but the thing is, it's the emergence of Alontae Taylor and Paulson Adebo that makes this more attractive now. See, the thing is, when you have 2 guys that's on your roster that's playing, Paulson Adebo had a couple of times where he was player of the week.
Yeah.
And so he's ascending. Alontae Taylor made a lot of good plays. I did a lot of tweets I made out there. Alontae Taylor looked like one of the best DBs we had. He's ascending. You got to find a way to get these guys on the field. And you got to maximize their rookie deals.
Yeah.
I know people don't want to hear that, but you got to maximize these rookie contracts because a lot of times that's the window of opportunity to try to win before
it goes up and they renegotiate.
They renegotiate and ask for the extensions.
I think in recent years, I'm sorry, Fred, what you about to say?
And so you got to maximize that time. So those guys need to have more availability to get on the field and start games. So that's where the conversation to me as a fan watching, I say, okay, this is where the flexibility of having a Marshon Lattimore is no longer needed because the emergence of those 2 guys.
I was going to mention in recent years, we've seen this with Seattle, with Russell. They had Richard Sherman. I think that was the best maximizing of rookie contracts.
Yeah.
Those guys balled out and they look good. As an individual, you look at Aaron Donald, that's maxing out right there with a guy, his potential, his ceiling, he reached a lot of those incentives. So I know we're focusing on Marshon, the contractual agreement between him and the Saints.
Yeah.
But let's focus on the player. You mentioned it earlier, Joe. When healthy, this is probably a top 5 cornerback.
Dude, he shuts it down.
He
top
does.
5.
He just
top
shuts
5.
it down.
Easily.
He's top 5.
that whole field, that whole side of the field, you don't even have to worry about that.
He's top five.
Because he not only is an incredible player, and I'm glad that they're showing these videos, but he just gets in people's heads, man.
Yes.
Like there's been so many times when he's just in these people's faces, like telling them, like, I'm about to lock you down real quick.
I think what it is too, y'all, his football IQ is extremely
oh my
high.
gosh,
Yes.
yeah.
I mean, we see it on this play here, but it's also a couple of times where, all right, I'm in man coverage. I have my guy. Boom, my guy runs a quick out. I read that and then jump and jump to a total another third of the field, makes a pass breakup, makes a play. Boop. That's just intelligent. This guy isn't doing that. He just has his stop route. Let me help there. His noticeability with that. He's now a veteran too.
Yes.
So now you have a guy on your team where you do have a young corner like Alante Taylor, and if you do decide to draft a young rookie, you can maximize in that area with his knowledge.
Yeah. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, using him to teach those future people.
Right.
And also, too, is that just having that depth as well is going to be very important for that.
I think CL had a viral moment because you and I was getting on him about Cam.
Oh,
Jordan.
yeah.
It's the same thing with Cam. Like, man, let's go draft the edge rusher. Okay.
We tried that many times. They never worked out. Never been better than Cam.
Never.
Not in recent times. Correct. I think the last good one was Cam. And when I was telling CL, I was like, this is a gold jacket DN, right? So he has to stay there. So if you do, I saw my boy, BT Jordan, he does D-line training with me. I saw him training Isaiah Foskey.
Yeah, so I didn't know the name, the second-round pick.
Yes, Isaiah's getting some work. I wish I had the film, but I'll show you guys at break. You see him trying to improve. Now, unfortunately, like BT worked with Peyton Turner too. Peyton should have went to more sessions. That's what it was.
But Peyton Turner hasn't touched the field as much as a former first-round pick out of Houston. He has not had that much production when on the field. It's been
and that's my whole thing with Cam. Like I think if we do with Carl Granderson, you could try to get because we may need somebody to come in on like we need a edge rusher a third down back. We don't need an every down back. And I look at Marshawn in that same way until let's say for instance he gets hurt again, right? We don't wish this on him. We hope he has a healthy season, obviously. But let's say for instance Marshawn goes down again. It's probably for like a week or two. It's worth it because when he does come back healthy,
he can play.
He's ready to go.
He's ready to go.
So the risk. So I do think the best case scenario, you guys could let me know if I'm on the right track. Don't do anything with him. Keep him on the roster. Maybe restructure his contract if you need to create some money. I mean, y'all in the verge of restructuring our other contracts anyway.
Don't leave out Taysom Hill either. But restructure his.
Talk to me about Taysom Hill.
It's a lot of money on the books right now. He's a little right close to $15 million against the Saints cap this year. And I have no gripe with Taysom. He's a heck of a football player. And with the new offensive coordinator coming, I think
we would save $6.5 million restructuring his deal.
And that money that needs to be utilized because of it just at the end of the day, he's not a permanent position on the field. He's not a permanent tight end. He's not a permanent receiver. He's a flex player. And so when you're going against $15 million against the cap, you got to be a little more flexible to step.
Oh, absolutely.
And I think that they do that, they're going to create a lot of
gaps. And Taysom, he loves New Orleans.
He loves New Orleans.
Like, he absolutely. He had the opportunity to probably go to Denver and everything, especially when Sean left.
New Orleans.
But he loves this city because we show that appreciation. And he has that mindset where he knows he's having fun, he's having a great time. And then now that he sees Kubiak coming in, he knows he's going to get a whole lot more play.
Smiling from here to
here. Whole lot more play.
I'm smiling from here to here.
I think you like the way San Francisco offense looked last year.
Absolutely.
All the pre-snap movements.
Yeah,
I can't wait to see that.
I can't wait
to see that down here. And I want to echo what you guys are talking about with Taysom. He doesn't really fit anywhere else.
No.
So I think out of all the players, like, okay, you play this game with Cam. I know several NFL teams will be on the phone to try to get a solid DN like that. Yeah. You play these games with Marshawn Lattimore. Several NFL teams will be on the phone trying to see. I don't think for the way, I mean, Sean Payton might call for Taysom, but outside of that, I think it's maybe one or two teams. So he would restructure, as you say, he loved the city. We see him at the Pels games a lot. So
yeah, he's like a homer, man. And so sometimes when here's the thing, same thing with Lattimore, right? They're not locker room problems, right? They're not players that they feel like they're invested in the locker room, they're invested in the city, they're invested in the community. And sometimes, I know we're talking about offseason and how to adjust money, But sometimes you got to look at the person and what they mean to the organization.
Marshawn's like mentality is incredible. Like he has that winner mentality. Yeah. Like he's going to go out there and he's going to shut you down.
Yeah.
And because that's how he is. Like he not only plays well, but he thinks like that. He's like, as a winner. That's his mindset.
It's a complete, these guys are invested in the organization. Now, Michael Thomas, on the other hand, different discussion.
Ooh, that's a different discussion.
Oh, yeah. Don't get me started on Michael Thomas.
It's an appropriate time to switch gears. We're going to take a quick break because when we come back, we're going to talk free agency, trades, what direction most of these NFL teams should take.
Forward to it.
And speak of directions to take if you're looking for a brand new home or some commercial property, make sure you hit up Godwyn Realty. My man Joel, his information will be underneath the show. You could go to Instagram right now and follow him at Joel in the Big Easy. Godwyn Realty is going to make sure they put you in a home that you look forward to. And if you need some land, you can holler at Joel for anything. It's Inside the Trenches podcast. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on New Orleans Talk Network. Hello, somebody. Are you a student athlete looking to take your career to the next level? Look no further than Conquer Sports Pros. That's right, Conquer Sports Pros. Our team of experts will get you guys on the right path to your student athlete journey in life. That's right, we have every position in football you need, and we also help out with other sports. At Conquer Sports Pros, you have everything from a list of consultation, training, and also media training. Yeah, that's right. When you take your career to the next level, play college and hopefully pro, you'll get lots of interviews. Call Conquer Sports Pros today. You can reach them at 504-319-6672 or visit marlonfavorite.com for more information. Hello, somebody. Hello, somebody. It's Marlon Big Favorite with Inside the Trenches podcast. Do you need a quick car wash? Well, if that's a yes, you need to visit Crown Car Wash, 1336 Stumpf Boulevard, Gretna, Louisiana, on the West Bank, baby. Crown's the best. You get a spotless wash, nice clean tires, reasonable pricing, and free vacuuming. My favorite part about Crown Car Wash, they open 24/7. That's right, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can visit Crown Car Wash on the West Bank, baby, and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast with Marlon Big Favorite. Watch out there now.
Now New Orleans has a choice. Download the New Orleans Talk Network app for your mobile device or listen at www.neworleanstalknetwork.com.
Welcome back. It's Inside the Trenches podcast. I'm your host, Marlon Big Favorite. I got my man Fred, that boy Fred with me, and Joel, and we're just having a great conversation today, and I'm glad you guys are joining us. If you need a ride, a brand new car, I'm sorry, let me take that back. A car that looks brand new, but it's used, because my man got a used car lot, and that's over there at 1512 North Causeway Boulevard, Montero Motors. Let them know Big Fave sent you on through that, baby, and get you hit today. You'll leave today with a car. I know y'all got that tax money, baby. You know what I'm saying? And Joe listening, because he like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all might want to take that tax money over here too. Hey. But hey, definitely we live in the building. So NFL. We have the NFL draft coming up. Man, you go on NFL on your Instagram or the websites, restructure contracts, new deals, franchise tags, release. We're talking about it all this segment. But what I found very interesting, so for the past, I'm not even going to go back to the beginning of the season when they were doing the Heisman watches and all of that stuff. I'm just talking about how these last few quarterbacks finished.
Right.
Even the way they finished, most draft boards have Caleb Williams,
right,
Drake May, and then Jaden Daniels.
Right.
But it's a man that's been doing this for a very long time, by the name of Mel Kiper. And let's be honest, sometimes he hit or miss. Let's be real.
Listen, that's okay. Mel is Mel.
Mel is Mel.
We're familiar with Mel.
We know who he is. We do know that a lot of the NFL teams do give him intel.
Correct.
And he knows how to watch this tape. So let's see what he said about Jaden Daniels on Get Up in the Morning with Mike Greenberg.
People will be surprised to see you putting Jaden Daniels ahead of Drake May, 2 versus 3. Why do you give the edge to the Heisman winner there?
He was remarkable, and I went to Herm Edward. Herm compares him to Randall Cunningham. And Lamar Jackson comps are going to be out there, but Herm said he's Randall Cunningham. I'll take that. I think the dual threat ability, Greeny, what he did this year and last year, the great thing about Jaden is he is aggressive with his legs, he's aggressive with his arm, but he doesn't turn the ball over. And to strike that balance is really rare and really impressive to me. And I think when you look at Jaden Daniels, the way he can attack a defense, the fear factor player he is, defensive coordinators don't want to have to scheme to try to handle this guy. And Drake May didn't have that super unbelievable season that he needed to have. He had some struggles against Virginia, NC State, a couple games where he was throwing some picks, not really basically precise and accurate with throws that were easy throws that you got to make. But Drake also had a new coordinator. He didn't have Josh Downs. He didn't have Tez Walker early in the year. So you can excuse away some things. Bottom line is I'm not going to hate on Drake May. I really like Drake May. But when you talk about the second overall pick right now, I think Jaden Daniels right now has the edge going into this whole draft process leading up to late April.
But I think
I couldn't help but agree with them. I mean, if you pay attention to the numbers, 111 explosive plays this year. He averaged 412 yards. Not to mention something that Mel said that stuck out to me. Not to mention, he also, make sure I have this muted. He also didn't turn the ball over a lot.
Right.
And I think, Joe, when you look at it from that perspective, that's huge when you're looking at draft prospects.
Absolutely. So look at, you got to break down, look at who the teams are before the Saints are happening.
Yep.
So here is why I keep telling people, because everybody's talking about offensive linemen or defensive linemen for the Saints. Y'all are not, y'all are just not looking at all the factors. And this is what is the facts. So we just don't know what Chicago is going to do. So they have 2 picks before the Saints.
Right.
So there's a possibility they might pick up quarterback. We don't necessarily know because Justin Fields is still kind of a mystery what they're going to do with him.
Right.
So we're going to see with that. If Justin Fields is getting traded, then obviously Chicago is going to go for a quarterback for the first round pick. But then look at this. Washington needs a quarterback.
Yep.
Obviously, so that's 2.
So start dropping them off. So
so that's 2. 2 so far. Maybe a third. Arizona doesn't need one. Chargers, nope.
Nope.
New York Giants, nope.
Nope.
Tennessee, nope. Atlanta, yes, that's 3. New York Jets, nope. Minnesota, yes, that's 4. Denver, yes, 5. Raiders, 6. And now we at the Saints. So look at the top 10 quarterbacks. 6 are definitely going to most likely be gone. So that leaves us right here. Who we got left? Possibly Jordan Travis, Joe Milton, Spencer Rattler, J.J. McCarthy, Bo Nix. Those are all guys that are possible. And what do we have? What do we lack in depth the most in the Saints? A quarterback. So if Derek Carr goes down, we are screwed. So we need to look at those things.
Now, Fred, one thing happened with Joe. He mentioned a lot of teams that didn't need quarterbacks.
Right.
So when those teams come up to make their picks in the second round, in the third round, they're going to go at other positions, which tells me that a lot of these quarterbacks may still be on the board at pick 2. I think, and we're looking at, since he brought up the Saints, I think you're looking at a situation where they're going to go get, let's just go say they go get a wide receiver.
Right.
Right? And I'll explain that here in a second. That quarterback's still going to be there. You may not, the only position that worries me is offensive tackle because of what you just said. Teams that are maybe an offensive lineman away from protecting their quarterback need.
Yeah, correct.
Your thoughts on Jaden Daniels, but then also what Joel said about the Saints picking quarterback at 14.
I think Jaden Daniels is making a lot of push as a top quarterback in this draft. I think Jaden Daniels is making a push for one. That question remains up to Chicago.
Yeah,
Chicago
really is.
They hold all the cards, and at the end of the day, Caleb Williams has been regarded as the number 1 overall pick since last year. I think last year, obviously, Bryce Young and C.J. Stroud came with the quarterbacks, but people were projecting since then that Caleb Williams is your number 1 overall prospect for the upcoming draft, and that kind of remained throughout the season. But Jaden Daniels lightened a lot of people's eyes up in terms of being the top prospect in his draft. And so that pick is up to Chicago in terms of what they want to do. But I just think that it's hard if you're Chicago Bears to trade the number 1 overall pick 2 years in a row. That's a hard decision. Now, we understood why the Bears did it last year because Phil was entering year 3. But entering year 4, and they still were not a playoff team. Fields does not have statistically great career numbers as a quarterback. It's not like he's throwing for 3,000 yards and 20-plus touchdowns. That's something he didn't do. So to pass up the pick again is going to be very detrimental to if you are a GM. You don't want to be that guy who passed up the pick twice and not selected a quarterback. Now, at 14, the inconsistent thing that I would agree with Joel is that you need to have a backup quarterback because at the end of the day, Jameis Winston is a free agent, and we're not relying on the 4th-round pick out of Fresno State. That's not happening.
Heads, boy. No, we're not.
So, but we did have some inconsistency on the O-line, which is at left tackle. We did start 3 left tackles last year at some point. Trevor Penning was the former 1st-round pick who started the position, didn't really work out so well.
Work out.
We had James Hurst, who came in and got some snaps, and eventually Andrews Pete ends up moving from guard to tackle at some point towards the end of the season. So left tackle is a priority on this line because the right side of it is locked with Ryan Ramczyk, Cesar Ruiz, and obviously one of the top-rated centers in the football, and Eric McCoy. The void becomes on the left side. And when you have a quarterback who's right-handed, you can't have a void on the left side.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Joe Alt, out of Notre Dame, is probably the number 1 rated tackle in this draft. But after that, because of the quarterbacks you mentioned, Joel, are going to start to come off the board. And I just can't see myself as an organization reaching for a quarterback in the 1st round.
Right.
I don't think J.J. McCarthy, as much as I'm a diehard Wolverine fan, he's not a 1st-round pick. Spencer Rattler is not a 1st-round grade. Joe Milton is not a 1st-round grade. Even though I like him.
Boy, Joe Milton, though.
Dude.
Joe Milton.
Come on.
Joe Milton has all the physical measurables that you look for, but he'll make you disregard the tape.
Well,
he has a deep ball, but when it comes to a slant,
But another thing we also got to think about this too, y'all, is that if we choose an offensive lineman, we are once again doing what the Saints do best, is picking for the short term.
I agree.
Got to stop doing this, everybody. Wake up, people. We've been doing this for years. This is why we're in the position that we are in now. We have to start thinking about the future. So we have to get a young quarterback that we can mentor, that Kubiak can mentor for those few years that we have Derek Carr. It's not difficult, everybody. Come on.
No. And look, we're going to talk about the Saints and what they're going to do at pick 14 in our next segment. I'm going to switch gears a little bit here and look at some of the moves that's going on around the NFL. Just today, the Miami Dolphins agreed to terms with tight ends Jonnu Smith. I think he was solid for Atlanta. I mean, he was definitely in the shadow of Drake, but they didn't really have quarterback play, which we're going to definitely, I guess, talk about this.
He's in the shadow of Kyle Pitts over there.
Yeah, Kyle Pitts. I said London. Drake London's the wide receiver. So, yeah, they have 2. Yeah, but I'm telling you, they are a Justin Fields or a Russell Wilson away from being pretty good. Speaking of Russell Wilson, he got released from Denver, but not just him. I think
$86 million.
That's crazy, right?
God.
Crazy dead
That's
money.
That's an NFL record in dead cap money. At $85 million, it's an NFL record.
Big
historic.
Oh my God!
It was the biggest news in sports this week.
I guess you got to be Walmart. I guess you got to be one of the Waltons who can make this kind of decision.
His teammate also got released today, Justin Simmons. He got released, DB.
Yeah, doesn't Denver have like their investors and everything? Don't they have some like big money?
Yes, they do.
Is that
Yeah.
Home Depot? No.
Walmart.
Oh yeah,
Walmart.
They got the Walmart family.
Walmart family.
Yeah, that's easy.
Just let them have.
That's another day.
Joe, you talked about this off air too. Mitchell Trubisky signing back with the Bills. You think that's a good look for him?
I think so. I mean, obviously the Bills are seeing some things about him. They obviously see potential because it's tough to do that kind of thing. And I think that they also look at too is like where their draft pick is. They're not like really expecting to get that quarterback and stuff. So they're saying like, okay, hey, we see the writing on the wall. We got to make sure that we at least lock in a quarterback that knows our system.
Right.
And you would say that I think that Buffalo's offensive line is fine. They can improve the running game.
Yes,
but
they're improving a lot.
They also might look defense as well. I mean, whenever you see a team make a release of cornerbacks and DBs the way that they did. I mean, you have my man Tre'Davious White from LSU. He got released. They released
Poyer,
the safety. So they may be they're telling us right now, Joe, that they're gonna take their first pick and more than likely go to
the defense of the ball.
You better believe it, particularly cornerback or safety.
Yeah.
A couple of other moves made here in the last couple of days. Nelson Aguilar, he signed a 1-year extension. Thought that was wise for him.
Yes.
Here's something a lot of Saints fans was hoping this guy here, because I do think the next guy I'm mentioning, I do think that we are a veteran wide receiver away from being a really good receiving core. Yeah. And T. Higgins, he received a 9 exclusive franchise tag and they will be paying him around $21.8 million. Ian Rappaport reportedly said. So just off of the few deals I just rattled off, guys. Oh, two more I want to mention. Michael Pittman, he received the same type of non-exclusive.
My head.
21.8. He signed for $21.8 million for the season. What's your thoughts on that?
Listen, I'm gonna make this very short and simple. Michael Pittman, he's just a possession guy. Listen, I get it. You got Anthony Richardson coming back for next year. You need some stability there, but Michael Pittman is just not an elite receiver in this league. Durable possession receiver, good, but nothing spectacular. So he's just a good football player. So it scratches my head unless a guy like Justin Jefferson tears the whole receiver market up and just escalates it past $30 million, which is what that Tyreek Hill is at. Unless something like that happens, this $21.8 million, I'm just scratching my head about. Just me.
I get it. I totally understand.
So there's a new market. I'm scratching my head.
Hey, guys, we have a lot to talk about with the Saints, so that's why I wanted to just dedicate it to a whole segment so y'all don't go nowhere. We're going to talk, what are the New Orleans Saints going to do with pick 14? Joe say quarterback. Fred, he's crossing his fingers that something happens crazy, and Joe Alt is sitting there at 14, but it won't happen. We'll talk about some other offensive linemen as well that can fit in that spot. And remember, if you need you a nice whip, it's used. Some of these used cars are brand new. I know a guy, he bought a brand new car and he sold it to my man Alberto. The car only had like 500 miles on it. So
that's new.
That's smack brand new. And Fred sells cars, so y'all holler at that boy Fred if y'all on the North Shore and y'all want to go ahead and get y'all a car. You on this side or in?
I'm in LaPlace.
You in LaPlace?
North Shores. We talked to them too.
Yeah, we talked to them.
Got that LaPlace.
LaPlace, baby. So if you're in the LaPlace area, y'all holler at that boy Fred. But 1512 North Causeway Boulevard in Metairie. Holler at my man Alberto at Montero Motors. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back. We're talking New Orleans Saints. Pick 14. How it's going down. It's Inside the Trenches podcast. We'll be back. March will step, big with the pep step. You can call me Lucky Left. Do it for my churn, I do it for my nephew. Do it for the hood when Hello, somebody. It's your boy Marlon, Big Favorite. And when I'm hungry, I like to make my way to Small Sliders. 1635 Barataria Boulevard, Marrero, Louisiana. Simple on purpose. When I tell you their burgers are delicious, has some great sauce on them, I'm telling you, when you're just hungry and just need to grab a quick bite, this is the perfect place for you. Small Sliders. The customer service is nice. It's somewhere you can bring the family, hang out and chill, enjoy the atmosphere. Now I'm a big boy, so when I like to take my Small Sliders, I like to get the biggest smalls. Double patties, bacon, cheese, you name it. Just a delicious burger. And I like to top it off with my favorite, the cookies and cream milkshake. There are 3 delicious flavors: milkshake, chocolate, vanilla, and cookies and cream. Small Sliders. Simple on purpose. Y'all come on and slide through, baby. And let them know that you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with your boy Marlon, Big Favorite. Watch out there now.
It's that boy Fred, host of FanView Podcast. Tune into the NOTN app weekdays, 3:30 for the FanView Podcast. Go to NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com to watch more episodes of FanView Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch.
Are you a student athlete looking to take your career to the next level? Look no further than Conquer Sports Pros. That's right, Conquer Sports Pros. our team of experts will get you guys on the right path to your student-athlete journey in life. That's right, we have every position in football you need, and we also help out with other sports. At Conquer Sports Pros, you have everything from a list of consultation, training, and also media training. Yeah, that's right, when you take your career to the next level, play college and hopefully pro, you'll get lots of interviews. Call Conquer Sports Pros today. You can reach them at 504-319-6672 or visit marlonfavorite.com for more information. Hello, somebody. Are you a student athlete looking to take your career to the next level? Look no further than Conquer Sports Pros. That's right, Conquer Sports Pros. Our team of experts will get you guys on the right path to your student athlete journey in life. That's right, we have every position in football you need, and we also help out with other sports. At Conquer Sports Pros, you have everything from a list of consultation, training, and also media training. Yeah, that's right, when you take your career to the next level, play college and hopefully pro, you'll get lots of interviews. Call Conquer Sports Pros today. You can reach them at 504-319-6672 or visit marlonfavorite.com for more information. Hello, somebody. Are you looking for your dream home? Well, if that's the case, you need to contact Joe Picolo at Godwyn Realty, right here in New Orleans. Joe can put you in your dream home right away. Joe Picolo and the folks over at Godwyn Realty put you in the house that you need. Even if you're looking to invest in some property, they'll do an excellent job with that as well. Contact Joe today at 504-251-8341. Again, that phone number is 504-251-8341. And also contact Joel at joel.godwynrealty.com. No need to dream anymore. Godwyn Realty will put you in the dream house of your reality. Hello, somebody.
In this text message with a whole bunch
I love memes. What you talking about? I love it.
So the first one we're going to show you guys, this is funny. Of course, everybody remember Russell Wilson's epic, yeah, Bronco country, let's ride. everybody remember
they riding all right.
It took, and then they was riding all right. They had a pretty funny meme for that one. There it is right there. So it reads, rest in peace, Bronco countries, let's ride, the end of an era. I mean, that went pretty quick, huh, Joe? Like, we thought Russell was about to be a real deal Holyfield at the Broncos, but everything deals with coaching staff. It just didn't work out.
No, it didn't. I mean, and it surprised a lot of people because, I mean, we remember Wilson, like, with the Seahawks, and, I mean, the dude is a great quarterback, and then you're pairing him with Sean Payton. And so you're like, wow, this could be a deadly combination right here. Like, they're going to do great. And all of a sudden, it just started falling apart.
It was deadly.
That's right.
It wasn't deadly in the impactful way, but it was deadly.
Yeah,
it was over.
Like, look at that. Look at Sean just laying into him.
And look, the comments on the side are hilarious. Y'all have to follow them. And then in the very next slide, Fred, one guy in this industry that a lot of people feel like knows it all is Colin Cowherd.
Yes,
and he's one of my favorites because a lot of times he do get it right.
Right,
but he said the Broncos, and this was right before right when Russell signed, the Broncos have won the NFL offseason. They should be a Super Bowl favorite for the next several years. And then we get through the several years. It's like, oh.
Colin, you're bad. You're bad.com. You're bad.
Yeah.
To ignore the fact that Patrick Mahomes is in the AFC West, you're bad. You're bad all over.
But that's what I mean. Marlon knows how I feel about certain such things, and a lot of these people, they just throw out information, like they just say things, and they hope it sticks.
Right.
But like that's why, like for us, we try to look at these different things, and you just got to see like Russell Wilson and his mindset, because that plays a huge factor with these people. They don't take that into consideration of like, hey, is Russell going to mesh well with this team?
Correct.
Obviously not.
Right. And then in a couple of more, it just so happened this slide of memes was supposed to be dedicated to Russell, right? They was talking Broncos. Some kind of way they figure out a way to slide the Cowboys in. So towards the end, there's this Nah, fool. Cowboys are taking it all. It's just starter pack. We're gonna now that picture is in it. There's a couple slides over where it's a starter pack. And I want y'all to tell me if this is a Cowboy starter pack coming up here. I think it's like one more slide, Mike. Look at this. Look at
that.
The fool. Cowboys are take it all this year.
Listen, y'all got listen.
Is that right?
Listen. Y'all look like John Cena.
Wow.
It's funny, and I do have that CD Lab jersey. I don't like to wear those type of shorts all the time, but them J's.
Whoa, Fred, what are you talking about? Like, you acting like you've ever seen John Cena. Like, what are you talking about? You can't see him. You can't see him. What you talking about?
You can't see him?
Can't see him.
You can't see me.
You can't see him.
Wait, so you're right. Yeah, you can't see the person in the clothes, so it's obviously John Cena. So you're right.
Yeah, it's Cena.
Now, unfortunately for us, they don't really do basketball and stuff like that because obviously it's NFL memes. So I did look at a couple of some other NFL memes on this other site called Ghetto Gronk. Now, Ghetto Gronk through the football season, I'm telling you, they're on one. So look at this one right here.
Oh my gosh.
The Taylor story.
How to quickly kill purchases of a video game. That's what you do.
That's what you do.
There.
Right there.
Yeah.
Right there.
Actually, I'm not even gonna lie. It might actually sell the most Madden game, but it wouldn't be actually people who would be playing the video game. It would just be like a bunch of little girls that are like, "What is this game?"
Who knows?
Now, this was a funny one, and this is a couple. I'm gonna count them out for you. This is, let's see, that's 2, 3, 4. It's the fourth one. Tom Brady seeing Patrick Mahomes win his third win in 5 seasons. And Tom Brady did run the 40 again. The NFL picked it up. He's faster now at 46 than he was at 22 when he ran it. Crazy,
What?
yes. When we go on break, you got to pull it up.
His
on your
diet though is out of this world.
He looks better than he did at 22. You seen Tom Brady at 22? You see Tom Brady now? I understand why he's faster. He looks better. He looks like a rock star now,
dude. Well,
he did.
Yeah, I mean, but that all comes to his diet, man.
Yeah,
like, it's crazy.
Not surprised that he runs faster. He even looks better. I ain't never, most people don't look better as the age. He looks better than 22.
He's like Benjamin Button, just
reversing. Exactly.
It's a reverse.
Exactly, Joe.
Reverse.
Exactly.
And we have one more here before we take another break. I'm loading it up on my phone. All right. This one is, my dad just got arrested for his third DUI. So I wanted to honor him by winning my third Super Bowl. This one's for him. Patrick Mahomes had to win the Super Bowl.
No.
That one was crazy.
Dude, he should he should put his rings in a case, and like right next to the ring is like a mugshot of his dad. Like when he gets arrested.
Yeah, here's the ticket.
This is what I remember.
Here's the ticket for memory for the first one, and here's the ticket for the second one.
Yeah.
The third one meant so much to me.
And it looks so real,
this was right
too.
before the Super Bowl, by the way.
Bro, I'm telling you, brother. Even after a Saints loss, they'll come back with something like, hey, man, I'm telling you. Yeah, so these are funny. We're going to try to keep, if I could add a Ghetto Gronk in every week of the football season, that'll definitely be fun. But
do you think that they will have another Gronk trying to kick a field goal this Super Bowl again? Like,
you never know.
Yeah, like it's just going to be like a random thing, like Gronk he just misses every single time. It's just part of it.
You never know.
You might. I know who better not miss. The New Orleans Saints with this 14th pick.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to come back. We're going to talk about the Saints in the situation now, right? Now that they've made some releases, now that they've restructured some contracts, people are healthier. We're going to look at, we're going to take a really close look at where the New Orleans Saints needs lie. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Inside the Trenches with Marlon Big Favorite, right? On ESPN NOLA, baby. Hello, somebody. Hello, somebody. It's your boy Marlon Big Favorite. And when I'm hungry, I like to make my way to Small Sliders, 1635 Barataria Boulevard, Marrero, Louisiana. Simple on purpose. When I tell you their burgers are delicious, have some great sauce on them, I'm telling you, when you're just hungry and just need to grab a quick bite, this is the perfect place for you. Small Sliders, the customer service is nice. It's somewhere you can bring the family, hang out and chill, enjoy the atmosphere. Now I'm a big boy, so when I like to take my small sliders, I like to get the biggest smalls. Double patties, bacon, cheese, you name it. Just a delicious burger. And I like to top it off with my favorite, the cookies and cream milkshake. There are 3 delicious flavors: milkshake, chocolate, vanilla, and cookies and cream. Small sliders. Simple on purpose. Y'all come on and slide through, baby. And let them know that you heard about them on Inside the Trenches with your boy Marlon Big Fave Favorite. Watch out there now. Well, hello, it's Marlon Big Fave Favorite with Inside the Trenches podcast. Are you looking for a brand new car? Or you're tired of what you're driving around in? Or you just need wheels? Well, if that's the case, you need to visit Montero Motors, 1512 North Causeway, Metairie, Louisiana. At Montero Motors, our buddy Alberto will get you in a vehicle that fits you that day with no problem. They have vehicles that are pre-owned. You can do a trade-in that day and ride off in something that day. Visit MonteroMotors.com for more information and let them know you heard about them on Inside the Trenches podcast. Hello. Are you looking for your dream home? Well, if that's the case, you need to contact Joe Picolo at Godwyn Realty, right here in New Orleans. Joe can put you in your dream home right away. Joe Picolo and the folks over at Godwyn Realty put you in the house that you need. Even if you're looking to invest in some property, they'll do an excellent job with that as well. Contact Joe today at 504-251-8341. Again, that phone number is 504-251-8341. And also contact Joel at joel.godwynrealty.com. No need to dream anymore. Godwyn Realty will put you in the dream house of your reality. Hello, somebody.
It's that boy Fred, host of FanView Podcast. Tune into the NOTN app weekdays, 3:30 for the FanView Podcast. Go to NewOrleansTalkNetwork.com to watch more episodes of FanView Podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and watch.
Step Construction is here for you with a brand new offer. We now provide affordable storage sheds. Stop wasting your money on overpriced storage units and portable containers. Step Construction can provide you with a custom shed that will fit your budget and storage needs. So contact Step Construction today at 504-340-5809 for your own personal quote. Let us help you take the next step at Step Construction.
Shocker?
It's a big time shocker, isn't it?
Not at all. Like I knew that was
say it like
happen.
that. We was all just, oh, really?
Shocker or sweet?
What? They're gonna release him? Sweet. I thought they were gonna keep him after he just basically trashed Derek Carr.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, comments.
Wow. During the game,
the game, after the game, in the off season,
and after too, he beat up that contractor for no reason. Like,
right. Oh, that's in the real estate world.
Yeah, I knew the guy. That was one of my clients that he like tried to beat up.
Wow.
And you know what's crazy? Nicest guy you would have ever met, and he was a big Michael Thomas fan, and so that's why he was like deeply like he was devastated.
I'm a Michael Thomas fan. I had the opportunity to play with Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara in the Masterpiece summer basketball celebrity tournament. So I mean. Listen, bro, it's the end of an era. Fred said something to me off 8 years. Michael Thomas, at time had just flew on right by us.
I know.
So now we knew it was going to happen, but this does kind of, now that the Saints did it, it does change the dynamic of the direction they're going to take in free agency and in the draft. Mm-hmm. So Ryan Ramczyk seems to be healthy, according to Dennis Allen at the Combine. So that was a big thing. We didn't know if he was going to be able to come back or what that deal may have been. This kind of changes the whole dynamic of the way they're going to look at this offensive tackle position on the first round.
Right.
So there is the young man, and I don't want to butcher it again. I want to make sure I have it right. He's shortening it. What is it? Olu. Sorry, brother. We're going to come back to your name. Him, J.C. Latham. He's a person name we can probably pronounce a little better. J.C. Latham. He's a guy we can pronounce his name a little better. But if those guys, and this is what I said, fellas, if that position starts to fly off the board, I see them going that way. And I want to hear from you guys. And I see the other scenario. You know, you give Trevor Pennington a second chance at right tackle. They probably should go ahead and release Andrews Pete or figure out something with him. They don't owe him any money anyway. Right. Maybe look towards a veteran guard in free agency. Cesar Ruiz, move him on the inside. You talked about moving Penning on the inside if that's the case. And in my opinion, Eric McCoy is one of the best centers in the NFL, no doubt. So, Fred, I'll come to you first. What direction do the Saints take with this 14th pick?
Well, you gotta take the chance to take a look at what's falling to you. You got it. You have 14.
That is the biggest.
You got to take the top
available.
10. You got to take what's best available and what's falling to you, especially if you're not projected to moving up into the top 10. If you're moving up to the top 10, then quarterback is definitely the position. That's just, I'm with Joel. If you, let's say, for example, if you're moving up to anywhere in the top 10, we had the experience back in 2018 where the Saints went from 29 up to 14, and they took Marcus Davenport. When everybody was thinking it was a Lamar Jackson pick. And it was not. It was Marcus Davenport. So, if the Saints have an immediate need for quarterback, let's just get into the top 10, make that decision, and let's, we could take the Green Bay route, what they did with Jordan Love. Now, if you're at 14, you got to kind of look at what's going to fall to you. What if Brock Bowers fall? Ooh. What if Brian Thomas is not off the board at 14? What if these guys are on the clock? Where do you go? You got an idea that left tackle will be available unless J.C. Langton gets off the board pretty fast. The tight end out of Penn State gets off the board really fast. And Joe Oat is going to be a top 10 pick. But you got to know addressing what's best available. And I think left tackle is the position. But if Brock Bowers or Brian Thomas is on the clock, what do you do if you're Mickey Loomis and crew?
Correct. And Joe, I know you were alluding to quarterback. You mentioned Bo Nix. Now that we're talking, and then you're saying best available quarterback at 14.
Because you got to look at the top, the teams that are right before the Saints, the top 13 picks. Out of those, at most, 7 teams are going to take quarterbacks. So now you're looking at the top 10 of those quarterbacks that are 3 of them are going to be available. Now, I don't know which of those 3 will be available. I'm really hoping Michael Pratt, because I feel like being the fact that he's Tulane and everything, he's familiar with New Orleans. He loves New Orleans. So I would really like for him to fall into that spot. But, hey, you never know what's going to happen. Talking about tight end, though, I mean, I literally, I'm looking at the Saints like tight end like stuff, and I don't see, even if he was available, that the Saints would want to go for that over a quarterback.
Over a quarterback.
Yeah. Right. I just, like you said, is that the Saints have messed up so many times with this first round pick, like choosing an offensive lineman and choosing Davenport, like choosing these people when go for the quarterback.
And as we wrap up this segment, I want to switch gears just a bit. I want to look at 2 mock drafts. I love Charles Davis's mock drafts. He usually does a good one. Yeah. And Pro Football Focus, I typically look at them for my for my throughout the season mock drafts or top players. So I see on Charles Davis one, his first 3 picks, or should I say 2 picks, is Caleb Williams, which that's everybody's first pick just about. Right. That'll be the biggest shakeup in the draft. And 2, Jaden Daniels to Washington. Right. He feels like and honestly, I don't think Jaden makes it to pick 3. On the other token, Pro Football Focus, they did theirs as well, and theirs is a bit different. They have Jaden Daniels 3rd to
and
the
they have
Patriots.
Drake May 2nd.
You see that? I mean, that's just crazy to me. So real quick, guys, out of these 2, the NFL.com, Charles Davis is doing his Pro Football Focus. Who's more accurate?
I'm going Jaden Daniels, and it's not being a homer. Drake May was inconsistent throughout college football last year, and why would I take an inconsistent quarterback at that selection? It's just kind of beyond me. It makes no sense. You take the Heisman Trophy winner. It's going to be no different from the 2013 draft with your 2 Heisman trophies between Marcus Mariota and Jameis Winston, were both 1st and 2nd overall.
What's your take, Joe? Who's more accurate?
I mean, we know the results of these people. They just, like I said, they just throw out stuff. I mean, you got to look at the other things too. Is that how did their health look? How did they interview with the teams? I mean, you're not going to pick somebody who doesn't mesh well with your team. You're just not, everybody. I mean, it doesn't work out well. So I agree with Fred. I can definitely see. I mean, at the end of the day, I think Jaden Daniels is going to go in the top 3. I just don't know where that position is going to be.
Well, we got a lot to get to as these episodes continue to progress. So many different directions we can look. We want to thank y'all for tuning in with us this whole time on Inside the Trenches podcast. You can follow me at BigFade504. You can follow Joe at Joe in the Big Easy on Instagram, and that boy Fred and FanView Podcast on Twitter, Instagram, and check out their YouTube link. We want to thank all of our sponsors, Godwyn Realty, for what they do for the show. We also want to thank Small Sliders, baby, representing. Y'all check us out there tomorrow live from 11 to 1 p.m. We want to thank Crown Car Wash, 1336 Stumpf Boulevard in Gretna, Louisiana. I want to thank them for what they do for the show. Montero Motors, representing all the time in Concord Sports. For our team in the back, man, that boy Mike been holding it down on the boards and graphics.
Yes.
One shouts out to Terry, making sure the cameras blinging on us. And I want to thank Fred for joining us, man. We're going to check Fred out every Thursday. And Joel all the time. Thank him for being my co-host. So y'all make sure y'all follow these guys, and I thank them for what they do for the show. And if y'all don't remember anything we talked about today, remember this, baby. God is love. Peace. See y'all tomorrow at Small Sliders.